We're here today in Bloom Perfumery, East London, with niche perfumer Vero Kern of Vero.Profumo. Hi Vero, it's a pleasure to meet you. Could you tell me what your very first scent memory is?
Hi Ed.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to be here, I'd like to say. And I have many first souvenirs of scents, I should say, but I haven't been aware of this until I've been working with scents. And the first souvenirs are the kinds, you know, like house scents, from the house, scents in the house, kitchen scents, but also we had a big garden and with many things blooming, and I have many souvenirs of scents. I think I'm really someone who is living through scent, but as I told you, I haven't been aware of that until I've been working with scents.
Cool. So how did you actually become a perfumer in the first place? I believe that one of your previous vocations was that of an aromatherapist, so did that influence you?
I mean, I've never had the idea to become a perfumer. I've done other things, and my first profession was working in a pharmacy, and where you find also very special smells, of course. But I've never thought to be a perfumer because this didn't exist. I mean, we have the perfumer, you know, exist maybe since the 90s, last century. Mm-hmm. But before that, they haven't been perfumers. They have been perfume houses. And actually, I've been working a long time for Swissair. I've been traveling a lot. And in '94, I became, as you said, aromatherapist because I wanted to make myself independent. That was the reason.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Now, for anyone out there who's new to the Vero.Profumo brand and your fragrances, can you give a quick overview of the brand's ethos and what someone can expect from your perfumes?
Well, my ethos is mainly I'd like to create scents who pleases not only me but also my clients, and I'd like to create very complex scents in the classical way. I'm not interested to create clean scents like you have them for years now, and which don't fascinate or just inspire me. I'm really someone who likes to create in the old-fashioned way, and that's how I learned it also in Paris years ago.
Cool. I mean, personally, I was introduced to your fragrances through fragrance blogs and through YouTube as well, and before discovering Bloom, I wasn't able to purchase your fragrances anywhere, so it's really cool that now there's somewhere that people in the UK can go and experience your fragrances firsthand. At the moment, my favourite of your creations is Kiki, the Eau de Parfum version. That's something that I'm very much enjoying at the moment.
Yes.
So, could you please tell us a little bit about, I guess, your most recent, your newest creation, Rozy?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about...
That's the last child, yes.
Yes. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the story and the inspiration behind the fragrance.
I always, you know, as a perfumer, you have ideas. Sometimes you get an inspiration from a raw material, or it could be also a character from a film, or it could be a film or literature or music or whatever. I mean, in this case, at Rozy, it was the material, the rose material, which inspired me a lot, and I always wanted to make a rosy scent that doesn't, I never wanted to just create kind of copy of the natural scent. I wanted to make a kind of abstraction of the rose scent. And in the past I was wearing, for instance, Naima from Guerlain, which is a wonderful rose scent or rosy scent. I have to say rosy scent because I didn't want to create a full rose, you know. And that's the inspiration behind. And then of course I had some characters in mind who would represent this kind of scent I had in mind. And this is an Italian actress called Anna Magnani, which she's not present anymore. I mean, she died, and but she was a fantastic woman and a great actor. And that's the person behind my scent, the new one. And also she was playing in a film in the 50s, last century, which is called The Rose Tattoo. And this is such a beautiful picture, you know, a rose, a tattooed rose, and that's what I wanted. And the tattoo is also some kind of abstraction, especially a rose tattoo, I mean. And also the tattoo, which is important in this whole story of the new scent, is for me a cult, you know. It has always been cult. It has to do with identity, it has to do with how do you call this in English? Just with yes, identity, but more self-expression. Mm-hmm. Huh? Self-expression, and that the cult in the perfume has to do. It's also kind of collective expression or collective handling, or yeah. So and then the tattoo is something that goes on the skin and on the skin and the scent as well. So that was the image behind it. The rosy scent I'm doing, or I did. I did the two versions. I mean, I did the Eau de Parfum and the Voile, and they're both very special.
Could you talk a little bit about the differences in the feel of the scent between
the rosy one, you mean? Well, the Eau de Parfum is much more powdery, light. I mean, not. It's also a complex scent, but it's a little bit fresher. It's with peach and passion fruit. Passion fruit is a very important material in my scents, and with some lilac and the rose, of course, and it's the rose with honey. That's the main thing. And the honey note in both versions that's a very important thing, because rose in itself has a honey note, and I wanted to make this note special, you know, strengthen this note, and that's why the honey note makes part of the whole thing, you know. It plays a very important role. And on the other hand, I to this more fresh and maybe just you know, it's kind of a big laugher. How do you call this? I mean, giggling.
Yes.
Huh? It's giggling, and the other version, the Voile is more deep. I mean, that's a laugher from the and it's and somebody wrote it's just both kind of Anna Magnani, or both faces of Anna Magnani. Mm-hmm. This is a lovely picture, and you have in the of course in this Voile D'extrait version, you have other notes. You have always the rose and the honey, of course, in both, And then, but you have also a deeper base notes than in the eau de parfum, like a lactanum base, and you have bois de santal, sandalwood, and also some vanilla. It's a little bit more oriental.